Um, I've not written a script out for this, so I may stutter quite a bit, but I'll try my very best not to. It's a while back I did a two-part discussion on a rather something that's rather a bit touchy and unpleasant to a lot of people. Abortion, and the thing is that these things, I think, like things like abortion and homosexuality, they get accepted, but people start to accept them. Things like these gradually. It takes time for these things to be accepted. After they become acceptable, they start to become acceptable. Something starts to become more acceptable gradually, and abortion and homosexuality were legalised in Britain in 1967, and they've gradually become more acceptable over time, over a period of time. And if it's gradually, it's been thought more. It's been thought. Well, when they first became legalised, I mean, a lot of people would have thought they were terrible things. But as time's gone on, the people's opinions have changed, and it's been thought that if you don't go along with the rest of society on these matters, you're a bigot. And I've come across I've come across a couple of YouTube channels that have been posted by some evangelical Christian type person, and it is on one of them. He's got well, on one of them, he's got a video clip of himself stood preaching outside an abortion clinic at Chester, and he stood there reading from the scriptures, reading out loud from the scriptures, and actually warning women not to go inside. Well, one of them makes a rude gesture to him, and some other woman who she's not going in there because she probably doesn't want an abortion, but she walks past and tells him off, saying it's none of his business what other people do. You know, you should stay out of other people's business. Well, in a way, I suppose she's right. Even though personally I don't agree with abortion, it's actually right what she's saying, because you don't win people over with religious arrogance. You win people over with tact. The way to win people over to your way of thinking is tact. And I do know who this person is. Is actually the son of a man that was in my year at school. I'm not going to put links I have thought of putting links to these videos in the description, or filming it off my telly, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to give somebody that would be just giving somebody. If I did that, it'd be just giving him a taste of his own medicine, because he actually tries to publicly humiliate people from other religions apart from his own. So I'm not going to stoop down to his level. And besides, if you don't mention somebody else online, there's no danger of getting sued. So I'm not going to put links. I'm not going to put links to any of his videos or film them off my telly. I'm not going to say his name or the name of his father. But I do know who his father is, because he was in my year at school. But he I think the problem with him is that he tries to win people over with religious arrogance, and probably say 8, 9 times out of 10 when you go out, you see people of various denominations on the doing cart witnessing. Jehovah's Witnesses do it regularly. Mormons do it. I've seen Christadelphians do it as well, and they don't draw attention to them. These people, these groups, particular groups, don't draw attention to themselves. They just stand there with the carts, giving literature to any passers-by who may want to read it. And they don't read from the Bible out loud or read from the publications out loud. They're not supposed to do that. They just they stand there quietly and don't draw attention to themselves. And if anyone wants to come and take any literature off them or have a chat with them, they'll oblige. But there's sometimes if you feel that it's somebody who's being intrusive, somebody who wants to film them to show others where they're wrong, they don't want to get involved in that. And this particular guy I'm referring, he's not a Jehovah's Witness. He's not a Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon or a Christadelphian. This person, this other person, he's like an evangelical Christian type person, and he stands there in the town centre, reading out loud from the Bible. I don't know if he has I don't think he has a microphone. It seems as though he's got a microphone because he films himself doing it on YouTube. I don't know if people can hear him all that much, but he stands out in the town centre in various places reading out loud, and in one instance, a Jehovah's Witness has gone up to him and told him the chapter and verse of the psalm he's been reading from, and they've got into a conversation, and he immediately tries to show that the other person is wrong for not believing in the Trinity, because he's filming it. You see, he's filming it all along. I don't think this witness realised he was being filmed really, but what he tries to do is try to trip him up, try to get him in conversation about some doctrinal difference, and he's trying to show whether he's right and the other person is wrong, and I think that this Jehovah's Witness has fallen for it, hook, line and sinker. I think he's not even realised that he's being filmed, and he's gone up to another group and a couple of women on the carts and tried to start instigating a conversation with them, and all along he's trying to show where their beliefs are wrong and his are right, and they didn't realise they were being filmed until the last minute. There's another instance where he's gone up to another group of people on the carts, and they've asked him if they're being filmed, and he says yes. I always film my conversations, and they've sort of cottoned on to what he's doing, and they don't want to get involved because they don't want they don't want someone posting a film of them on the internet by someone with the intent of someone else showing where the wrongs. They don't want to get involved. He's asked them a question, and they've just stood there and not answered it. And he says, "Oh, fair enough, good day." And he's walked up and sat outside the chemist across the road from them, and they started to publicly humiliate them and warn others to keep away from them. And he's trying to warn others not to walk by them and listen to him. To what he's saying instead. This, to me, it's not. It's tactless. It's completely tactless. What he's trying to do is win people over by religious arrogance. All along, he's saying, I'm right, that you're wrong, and you're the one who's going to hell, matey. And his father was exactly the same. His father was on my friend list on Facebook. And I can tell you, he was using Facebook. Everybody else used Facebook for social reasons. The only reason that he used it was for a forum, for a forum to advertise his beliefs. And he was trying to put me right. I don't disclose on YouTube what religious group I belong to, but. He actually told me that if he didn't change my religious beliefs, I'll finish up going to hell. And he didn't want for me to go to hell, but because he had some great memories of me, some very fond memories of me from when I was at school. And these are the kind of tactics that these sort of people use. You don't win people over like that. I remember. I mean, I was a bit like this, man. I can tell you because I can tell you. So what? It's not being tactless isn't the right way to win people over, because I used to be a bit like that myself at one time. There was this Christian. There was this Christadelphian. Christadelphians don't believe that Satan is a literal entity. It's not because they don't believe the Bible. It's just that's their interpretation of the scriptures, that he isn't a literal entity. I believe he is a literal entity, but I believe he's an evil spirit. But they don't. They think he's an evil force within mankind. That's just their interpretation of the script. They do believe there is a devil, but they don't believe he's a literal entity. They think he's a wicked spirit force within a negative impulse within mankind. And I don't think that this belief makes sense personally in light of the scriptures. And I started because I felt this way. I got a bit tactless with this Christadelphia on the line, saying, blah blah blah. You are definitely wrong in what you believe, and trying to. And I quoted from his scripture in Revelation to show that Satan there was been a war in heaven where Satan had been cast down from heaven. And it doesn't make sense because what's a negative impulse within mankind doing up there? It doesn't make sense, does it? And he said, a person such as yourself probably has a problem with pride, and I think he's right. I think so. If you convinced yourself that you're right and others are wrong, and you try and you try and win them over by telling that they're definitely wrong, or you have got a problem with pride. Because at the end of the day, he's right and he's wrong. It's not for us to say at the end of the day, is it? They just do the best. Everybody does the best to stay in the religion that they're in. They can't do anything. You can't do anything more than that. Everybody does what they think is for the best at the end of the day. And it's like that with trying to dictate. It's like that. That's like this business of. It's like this business of standing outside an abortion clinic and trying to dictate to others that what they're doing is wrong. And it's not the way to win people over. The way to win people over is with tact. And it's like I've said. You get you get these religious groups that stand there with the carts in the town centre. The Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, the Christadelphians, and maybe others. The ones who stand there quietly, waiting for others to not making a nuisance, not making a public nuisance of themselves, not forcing others to listen to them. Not, you know what I mean? It's they're the ones who've got the right idea. It's I think the ones who make a public nuisance of themselves by speaking deliberately, or you get the ones who sing out loud as well. There was a black guy at Chester. He used to do this. He was religious, and he used to do this public singing in the town centre in Northwich. You know, stand there and I think some people just thought he was a nutter. They thought he was crazy. I think that's what he did. He did seem to be a bit. You get the other religious groups who just stood there quiet with the cars, not drawing too much attention to themselves. And I think the key is really to not draw too much attention to yourself. I think that's the best way to win people over is not to draw too much attention to yourself. And I've done a discussion on the film The Exorcist, saying why I don't think it's suitable for viewing for Christians, because I've actually seen it myself, but I never watch it again, never. And my friend is quite a bit older than me, and saw the film when it was first released in cinemas. He said that when it was on at the Regal Cinema in Northwich, the Salvation Army were outside trying to stop people from going in. It's like, you know, they were doing exactly the same thing as what this fellow was doing outside the abortion clinic, standing there preaching to people that they shouldn't go in. It's got nothing. It's like all they'll say is it's got nothing to do with you, pal. Stay out of my business, and they're right. But what? You won't get members of my own religious group doing these things because it's none of their business what films people watch or what they do, whether they have an abortion or not. It's just none of their business. They don't see it as any of their business either. They have certain rules that apply to members within their own group. That's all. It doesn't. They don't dictate to other people what they can and can't do with their lives. Anyway, it's all food for thought, isn't it? Really, anyway. I'll watch this video before I post it to make sure I've not made a mistake and mentioned any names in it. And if I've not made a mistake, I'll post it, and just tell me what you're thinking in the comments below. Anyway, I'll be back soon with more material.